Good morning, good afternoon to everyone who is watching. I wish you a good day. And we are Group 1 of Life Science, and we are here to present Epidemiology, Transmission and Control of the COVID-19 Virus in Various Age Groups, a Research Analysis. For the table of contents, number 1 is our basic knowledge. What do we know about the topic? Number 2, known arguments or issues about the topic. Number 3 are the questions we need to answer that can only be achieved through this research. Number 4 is the relevance or importance to the community. Number 5, being researchable. Is this researchable and why? Number 6 is the type of study. What type of study will we need to answer the question and why? And lastly, number 7 is the area of study. Which area of study does this topic fall under?
To begin with, what do we know about the topic? First, epidemiology is the study of the distribution or frequency and patterns and determinants or causes and risk factors of health-related states and events in specified populations, such as neighborhood, school, city, state, country, and even global. As humans get older, the immune system becomes less able to distinguish foreign antigens, and antibodies that respond to them slow down too. The third is, these are some of the established factors affecting the transmission of virus. First, through crowded places. Second, confined or enclosed spaces with poor ventilation. And third, closed contact settings. For each of these factors, there is a dominant age group. Like, if ages 20 to 40 are in the working sector, then they are more prone to the virus in some way.
Next are the known issues or arguments about the topic. According to CDC or Center for Disease Control and Prevention, severe illness from COVID-19 is prone to those aged 85 and older. And in the Philippines, the most affected age group by the virus is those from 20 to 29 years old. Meanwhile, the most diseased age group are those over 70 years based on the report of WHO or World Health Organization. Also, far fewer cases of coronavirus or COVID-19 have been reported in children than in adults. Usually, the virus causes a milder illness in kids, though some children have become pretty sick. And based on a study from Denmark, results found out that reinfections of COVID-19 are unlikely, especially for people under 65 years old with 80% protection, while those who are above 65 have only 47%. Furthermore, large number of cases in children aged 0 to 9 were asymptomatic or had only one symptom and resulted in fever as the most common symptom. COVID-19 cases in children were more likely to be milder asymptomatic with cough not seen as frequently as in adults aged over 40. Lastly, a study from Italy found out that out of 2,824 individuals with known coronavirus infections, only 876 or 31% had presented any symptoms, and when they looked at the age data, 81.9% of people aged 20 years and under were asymptomatic.
For the questions, what age groups are more and less vulnerable in catching the virus? Next, are the symptoms or effects of the virus much greater in specific age groups rather than others? Does the vulnerability or risk level change from time to time? What are the possible explanations for this? Next, what has been done to control the spread of the virus? Are there other emerging measures that can be considered to strengthen the protection for all age groups? Next, are there different quarantine/isolation/vaccine procedures when it comes to different age groups? Next, does the person's age impact the level of their recovery from acquiring COVID-19?
Following is the relevance or why is this important to the community. By assessing if age does not have an impact on the transmission and control of COVID-19, then we can improve protection on those who are more prone to catching the virus. This is not to say that only one group should be cautious, as we are all at risk. It is to further control the spread of the virus. It is extremely necessary for published studies to be reviewed so that identifying changes, developments, differences, patterns, and trends would be possible. Therefore, new solutions can also be provided based on the interpreted data. Plus, those studies may differ from the duration of the experiment, methodology used, and the study population. Thus, there would be a broad conclusion applicable depending on the said differences for each research study.
Is this researchable? Yes, since there is existing literature covering the said topic, it would be more efficient to analyze data and identify research gaps that need further investigation. This topic is also more budget-friendly and easier to be done, especially in this time of pandemic, where we cannot go to laboratories and meet up to do experiments. And finally, this study could be done in our own home in our convenient time.
Next is for the type of study. What type of study will we need to answer the questions? The type of study needed to answer the question is a systematic review or a research analysis. Obviously, this topic can be experimental because we cannot expose participants to the virus. The best way is to gather information, analyze and validate those to end up with a solid conclusion.
Last but not the least, which area of study does this topic fall under? This topic falls into life science because, of course, it's study about life and living organisms, but specifically, it falls under epidemiology, since epidemiology is the study of the distribution or the frequency and pattern and determinants or the causes and risk factors of health-related states and events, not just diseases, in specific populations such as neighborhood, school, city, state, country, and global. Or in simple terms, the epidemiology means it digs deeper about how often the virus occur or transmit in different age group of people and the reason why. This topic wants to know more about the age effects in transmission of COVID-19. That's why this topic is covered by epidemiology.
Thank you for listening. This has been Life Science Group 1. And these are the references that we use for our presentation.